Hello folks, Jose here for another tutorial for wpbasics.org. In today's tutorial we're going to continue our conversion of our Bootstrap theme to WordPress, and we're going to begin that with a fresh installation of WordPress that I have here. Here's the back end, the dashboard, and here you have the theme. As you can see, it's just a blank theme with nothing on it except the default post that it comes with. This is the 2017 theme. So the first thing we're going to want to do is open up that our WordPress editor, open up this fresh install in our editor, theme editor, and the first thing we want to do is go into themes and create a new directory, and we're going to call this WordPress Pro. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to need. And in order to have a working theme in WordPress, there are two files that are required at a minimum. The two files that are required are index.php and style.css. So we're going to create those files right now. So we're going to create an index.php and a style.css. Okay. So we can, now that we have these two files, we can go into WordPress and we can see and refresh our page, and we can see that it's already being recognized, but of course it's totally blank right now. One of the things we're going to first need is what's called a Stylesheet Header. Okay, and in order to get a copy of that or get a good idea of what to do with that, let's just go into the WordPress codex. Okay, I'll put the link to this link on the description, so if you want to check it out you can, but just scroll down, and in here they have a sample of the style sheet header that we're going to need so that WordPress can recognize our style sheet. So just copy that information, go back to your style sheet and paste it in. Now the only thing really you need here is the theme name in order for WordPress to recognize it, but we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to keep some of these fields. So let's begin by the theme name. We'll call this WordPress Pro. Okay, the theme URI, you can put just whatever your website is. I'll just put wpbasics.org, and the theme author, I'll just say my name, and I'll copy this just for the sake of speed. For the theme URI or the author URI, it's the same, and then we're gonna go here, get rid of this. It's a long description they put, so let's get rid of this. Oh boy, that's all very long. So let's just say Bootstrap to WordPress conversion. Let me just move this over so you can see things better. The version, we're going to leave it as 1, as this is the first one. The license, we'll leave that as well. These tags, maybe we'll fill those in later. We'll get rid of it for now. The text domain, we're going to put that in. Put it all in small letters, no spaces, no characters. Just that's what you should be doing. So let's just put it WordPress Pro. And these two lines, we'll get rid of them also because we don't need them. Now let's save that and go back to our WordPress theme, and let's refresh this to see what we have so far. We have theme details, and now you can see the theme details are being picked up here, but we can see that there's no picture here and there's no picture here either. All we have to do is add a picture to our root file, and we have to name it screenshot.jpg. So let's do that now. Let me minimize this. I have some pictures here, so let me just grab this and put it to the root directory. Okay, let's save it, and now let's go back to here. There it goes. And the size of the image, I can tell you what it is in case you are looking to do that. Like I said, you don't have to do it. You can leave it without it. But if you did want to do it, you can do that. So let's check the size. I can't remember. I think it's 1200 by something. or 1200 by 900 is the dimensions that you should be using for your screenshot if you choose to have one. So let's go back to WordPress now so you can see it again. So it's all there. It's there, it's there, it's everywhere. And we're good to go from there. And now we can check our web page. So if we go here and refresh it, nothing's being recognized yet, as I forgot to activate the theme. So let's activate it. And now let's check it. As you can see, it's totally blank because we haven't added any content to our theme yet. So let's add a few folders to our theme. So we're going to open up our old static HTML website first. Give me 1 second while I find it. Here's the file. So let's put this here to the side. And then let's open up our text editor. And what we want to do is copy these folders that we have. It's already there, so let's just copy this JavaScript folder. Okay, 1 sec. Copy it. We can paste it to the root directory right here. Okay, then let's copy the CSS folder. Not all of them though. Let's create a CSS folder in Bootstrap first, in our theme, because we don't want to copy the whole thing. So let's just CSS. Let's create a directory, and then this Bootstrap. Let's copy that. Copy it, and paste it right inside here. Yes. Okay. And then the next thing we want to do is open this style.css. Okay, so we can close this guy now. Make this bigger. Copy all this text. And then go to our style.css in our theme and paste all of that here. And save all that. So let's go back to our WordPress theme now and refresh. One final thing we need to do is actually add the HTML from here. So let's open up this. Open it. Let's just open it with Notepad. Here it is. Let's copy all this. Okay, close that. Go back to our index.php file. Paste it. And now we should be able to see here in our WordPress site all the text. It is now unstyled because right now it's still referring it to our old style sheet. So what we have to do is change a few things. The first thing we're going to do is change this reference to the style.css, because now we have our styles in just the style CSS, and there's a function that WordPress has, and it goes like this. Let's just put in our PHP tags. And the function goes like this: blog info, and then quotations, and inside there put style sheet underscore URL. Let's close this. Okay, and now if we save that, we can go back to our web page, and now you see it's styled. But the Bootpress styles aren't being picked up yet because we have to point to the Bootpress styles, and we haven't done that yet. So we go here to where we're talking about the Bootstrap core, and we're going to add a little something here. So we're going to go PHP, and we're going to put a little bit of code in there, and we're going to say again blog info, open close, template underscore URL, and then just close this and say what else. Oh, we have to put one of these guys and save it, and that should do it. And now we have our styled page. So now that the style sheets are working, we now have to turn this static page so that it is dynamic. So let's go back to our text editor, and let's start at the top. This language we can change that into dynamic, because right now it's hard-coded, but WordPress has a function for this. So let's put some PHP opening and closing tags, and then the function is called language attributes, and then that's it. You just do that and then put a semicolon at the end, and then that is that function. So that one's ready. And then the next thing we can do is this char set. We can change that, change this to, instead of putting it there, we can again put up a PHP function or WordPress function. The function is blog info, and then inside single quotations put char set, and then just close these with a semicolon. Okay. So the next thing we can change is the description. So all we have to do is go in here where it says content and put our PHP tags, and then there's we go blog info, open close quotations, and just say description, and then we put a closing semicolon, and then let's save that. And these two lines, 10 and 11, we don't need that because we're going to manage that in a different way, and we're not going to manage it directly from here. So let's just get rid of that. And then the title is the next thing that we're going to look at. So we're going to change that so that that is dynamic also. So we're just going to go in here. We're going to delete that, put some PHP tags, open and closing tags, and then we're going to go blog info, open and close single quotations, and in there just write name. Okay, and then we're going to close that with a semicolon, save it. As you can see up here, it's changed the title. So let's go back to the text editor again. So the last thing we have to do is put a function at the very end of the header. So we would just make an extra line here, and that function, it goes like this. So let's put in some PHP tags. That function is called WP underscore head. Okay. Now the WP head function is used to allow any plugins to add code that they might need to insert there. So for example, if you're having a plugin that has jQuery and it needs to add something there, or it needs to reference a style sheet, for example, it will add some code here that it needs to function. So we can see a demonstration of this. So let me comment this out first. Okay, save that. And if we go back to our page, we refresh it, and then we're going to see the page source. You can see what it looks like right now. Okay, there's pretty much here. Where's the header? Head tag here, head tag there. You can see what's there. So let's go back here, and now let's uncomment that, save it, and refresh this. And you can see all this extra code that it puts on there, that it's done by WordPress through that WP head function. So let's go back to the text editor, and similarly we have to do the same thing for the footer. In case a plugin needs to add some code to the footer, we have to do that also. So we go to the closing tag of the footer, and below that we're going to put PHP tags and put WP footer, and then we save that. So let's see what we have so far. So here's our blog template. There's no description here. I must have forgotten to do that. So we can fix that quite easily. Just go back to our text editor and go back to the top of the code where we have our blog info name. So let's open this up a little bit. We're going to add a conditional statement there. So we wanted to put a pipe character to separate it. And then in here, we want to generate this dynamically. So let's put the PHP tags. And what we're going to do is we're going to test it, first of all, to see if it's the front page. front page. We're going to test for that, and if it is, we're going to put blog info description. Okay, and if it's not, then we're going to put WP title. Let me just get rid of some of this extra space. Get rid of that. And let's tab this over so it looks neater. Okay, save that. And now we can go back here and refresh it. And you can see now it has the Bootstrap WordPress here. As you can see it there. And you can manage now your page from in here. So you can change this. So let's just change this to test it. Let's, oops, hit save. Let's go back here. And now it says test. So let's go back and put it back. Save that. And put it back. And now we are back. So let's continue with changing some of these things to be dynamic. So let's go back to the top and scroll down to this section here where it says blog title. We want to be make that dynamic also. So let's delete that, replace it with PHP tags, and then we're going to put in blog info title. Okay, close those tags. And then we're going to do the same, or well, similar thing to this blog description. Delete that, put PHP tags, and then put blog info description. Okay. Save that. So let's have a look at our page. Refresh, and now you can see it's picking it up here, and this is picking up from here. So if you ever want to manage it, you just go to your settings page and you can manage it from there. And now the next thing we want to do is these footer credits, we want to make them dynamic also. Right now it says blog template built for WordPress by @MDO. So let's change that. So let's go to the bottom of our web page, and here it says, here's the static code. So let's delete that and put in PHP code tags, I should say. And what we want to replace that with is actually here before the PHP tags. Let's put @copy, and that's just the copyright symbol, and then put a closing semicolon space, and then inside the PHP tags we're gonna put we're gonna use the date function that comes with WordPress. Echo, okay, date, it has to be with a capital, date, open close brackets, and then put a capital Y for the year. Okay, then we want to put a space and a dash, then another set of PHP tags, and inside there we want to write blog info description. Oops, description. And let's save that and see what we got. And here we go. Now you can change this to whatever you want. This is just an example. Okay. So the last two things we have to do is split up this code that we have in index.php. Right now we have everything in one file, index.php, and technically I suppose you could perhaps leave it like this, but WordPress doesn't typically do it like that. They separate the body of the code and the header code and the footer code, so we're going to do that as well. So inside the Bootstrap folder, create two new files. We're going to call one of them header.php, and the other one we're going to call it footer.php. Okay, So let's go back to that index file, and what we want to do is take all the code starting from the top, copy all of it till the end of here. So we're cutting this like this. So there it goes, it's cut now, and we're going to paste that into here, into our header.php, and we're replacing this with some PHP code. Get underscore header. And we're going to do something similar for the footer. Go down to the footer, all the way to the footer, and starting where the footer opening tag is. Actually, we might actually grab something else. Give me a second here. Let's start with the sidebar. We're going to include the sidebar also. Let's grab from the sidebar all the way down to the bottom. Cut that and paste that into the footer. And then go to the index and put a PHP code tag and put the get underscore footer. Save that, and let's go back to our web page. And nothing should change, but it's still working. Oops, something's wrong with the sidebar here, so let me fix that. So it looks like I put the footer PHP file in the wrong place. This should actually be here in the root directory, so let me move it there. Yeah, let's move it. So the footer and header PHP file are now in the root directory of Bootpress Pro. Let's go back, let's save it first of all. Go back to our web page and refresh, and everything is fine now. So we have the layout, we have the footer credits, and that'll do it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them there in the comments. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.